Here's the scenario. Your company's just got off a fantastic board meeting. New funding secured, big growth targets approved. The CEO gives HR a simple instruction. We need to hire 200 people in the next 6 months. Make it happen. So, where exactly do you find 200 qualified people? Do you post on Naukri and pray? Do you call every campus in the country? Do you put a billboard on the highway? Do you just kidnap good employees from your competitors? Please don't do that last one. Recruitment sources have definitely fantasized about the billboard option at least once. Welcome back to our HR series. Last time we covered manpower planning, figuring out how many people you need. Today we answer the next logical question. Where do you actually find them? Today we're covering recruitment sources, every legitimate channel, strategy and method that HR uses to find talent. And trust me, by the end of this video, you will look at a LinkedIn connection request, a job fair booth and your company notice board very differently. Before we dive into the individual channels, let's get the framework clear. A recruitment source is any channel, method, or medium through which an organization identifies and attracts potential candidates for a job opening. All recruitment sources fall into two broad buckets. Bucket 1, internal sourcing. Finding candidates from within your own organization, your own employees, your own talent pool. Bucket 2, external sourcing. Looking outside the organization, the broader job market, campuses, agencies, portals, social media, and more. Think of it like cooking dinner. Internal sourcing is checking your own fridge and pantry, using what you already have. External sourcing is going to the market to buy fresh ingredients. Every HR professional has had that moment where they looked internally, found nothing suitable, went fully external, spent a fortune hiring someone, and then discovered 6 months later that someone inside the company was literally perfect for the role. This is why you always check the fridge first. Each bucket has significant advantages, limitations, and specific techniques. Let's go through them one by one. Let's start inside the house. Internal recruitment sources are powerful, often overlooked, and usually the most cost-effective option available. Here are the 4 main types. 1. Promotions. Moving an existing employee upward into a more senior role. This is the most common internal source and one of the most powerful employee motivators in existence. When employees see a clear path upward, they stay, they perform, they invest in their own development. Organizations that promote from within consistently report higher engagement scores and lower attrition. Real example, Infosys. Infosys fills a significant portion of their senior technical and project leadership roles through internal promotions, moving high-performing engineers into lead and manager positions. This reduces the cost and time of external hiring while rewarding performance. Internal transfers are also how companies quietly solve difficult employees by making them someone else's problem in a different department. Not ideal HR practice, but let's be honest about what happens in the real world. 2. Internal job postings, a formal system where open positions are advertised internally before or alongside external postings. Employees can apply for roles in other departments or locations. IJPs are a sign of a healthy organization. They signal, we see talent in our people. We want to give them opportunities before looking elsewhere. Real example, Tata Consultancy Services. TCS has a robust internal mobility portal where employees can explore and apply for roles across business units, service lines, and geographies. This has been a key driver of their industry-leading retention. Employees stay because they can grow without leaving the company. The only downside of referrals is when someone refers their equally brilliant but completely wrong for the role brother-in-law. Now you have a hiring decision and a family drama on your hands. Always evaluate referrals on merit. Advantages of internal sourcing. Lower cost, no agency fees, minimal advertising spend. Faster hiring, no need for extensive background checks or onboarding from scratch. Known quantity, performance history, culture fit and capabilities are already verified. boosts morale, signals growth opportunities to all employees, increasing engagement. Lower risk, internal hires work style and attitude is already known. Retention tool, employees who see promotion paths are far less likely to leave. Limitations of internal sourcing. Limited talent pool, you can only pick from who you already have. Creates a gap. Promoting someone internally opens a new vacancy somewhere else. Inbreeding risk. Over-reliance on internal sources can lead to stale thinking and groupthink. Political tensions. Internal candidates who don't get the role may become disgruntled, may miss innovation. External hires often bring fresh perspectives, new methods, and industry benchmarks. The golden rule is always evaluate internal candidates first, but never let internal-only sourcing limit the quality of your hire. The best organizations combine both, internal first, external when needed. Real example, Hindustan Unilever. HUL is famous for promoting from within. Their grow your own timber philosophy means most senior leaders started as management trainees. Yet, they still actively hire externally at all levels to bring in fresh capabilities, particularly in digital and analytics. Now we go outside the building. External recruitment sources cast a wider net, reaching talent that doesn't work for you yet. Let's go through the major ones. Number 1. Job portals and online boards, the digital backbone of modern recruitment. Platforms where job seekers create profiles and upload CVs and companies post openings. In India, the big three are Naukri.com, which dominates the mid to senior market, LinkedIn, with professionals and passive candidates, and Indeed, with high volume entry to mid-level. Other notable platforms are Shine.com, Instahire.com, and IIMjobs.com for premium roles. Real example? Naukri.com. With over 80 million registered job seekers and hundreds of thousands of active job postings, Naukri.com is the single largest recruitment marketplace in India. For most mid-market and large enterprises, it's their first port of call for active candidate sourcing. The downside of job portals? You post a job on Naukri and within 24 hours you receive 300 applications, 200 of which are completely irrelevant, 50 haven't read the job description, and 30 are the same person submitting from different email IDs. Screening is an art form. Number 2. Campus recruitment, going directly to educational institutions, colleges, universities, IITs, IIMs, polytechnics to recruit fresh talent before they even enter the job market. This is how India's massive fresher hiring engine works. There are two formats. On-campus drives, when the company goes to the college, placement season, usually October to March for engineering and MBA, and off-campus drives, when companies invite students from multiple colleges to a central location. Real example? Infosys, Wipro, TCS. India's IT giants run the most sophisticated campus recruitment operations in the world. TCS's National Quality Test, NQT, processes hundreds of thousands of students annually from over 3,000 campuses. This is mass recruitment at industrial scale, executed with remarkable precision. Number 3. Recruitment agencies and staffing firms. Third-party firms that specialize in finding candidates on behalf of client companies. There are two types: retained agencies, paid upfront, typically for senior or specialized roles, and contingency agencies, paid only when a candidate is successfully placed, typically 8 to 15% of first-year CTC. Real example? TeamLease and Quest Corp. TeamLease Services is one of India's largest staffing companies, placing hundreds of thousands of workers annually across industries. For contract staffing, blue-collar hiring, and hard-to-find specialist roles, agencies like these do the heavy lifting that in-house HR teams simply cannot scale to. The agencies will always tell you their candidate is the perfect fit, highly motivated, and available immediately. What they don't mention is that the same candidate's CV went to 7 other companies this morning. Always move fast when an agency brings you a strong candidate. Number 4. Social media recruitment. Using social platforms, primarily LinkedIn, but also Twitter, X, Instagram, and even WhatsApp for employer branding, job posting, and candidate engagement. LinkedIn is the king of professional social recruiting. LinkedIn Recruiter, the paid tool, allows HR teams to search for passive candidates using filters like role, company, skills, location, and experience level and reach out directly even if those candidates aren't actively job hunting. Real example? Razorpay and Zepto. Many fast-growing Indian startups use their founders' and employees' LinkedIn presence as a powerful recruiting magnet, building a narrative of exciting work, smart culture, and career growth that attracts talent organically. Zepto's co-founders' posts about building India's fastest delivery company regularly generate inbound applications without a single Naukri posting. Walk-in interviews. Open recruitment events where candidates arrive at a venue without prior shortlisting. They show up, submit their CV on site, and may be interviewed the same day. Walk-ins are particularly common for high-volume entry-level roles like BPO, retail, hospitality, urgent hiring needs, blue-collar and semi-skilled positions, and organizations in high-footfall locations. Real example? The BPO industry. India's massive BPO sector, companies like Concentrix, VNS, and Emphasis routinely run walk-in drives for customer service roles. A single weekend walk-in can attract 500 to 1,000 candidates and result in 50 to 100 offers made the same day. Speed is the entire point. Walk-in interviews are also where you meet the candidate who arrives 2 hours late and tells you they're very punctual in the interview. Walk-ins are a special experience. 6. Headhunting or executive search, also called direct search, proactively identifying and approaching high-caliber individuals who are currently employed and not actively looking for a job. These are called passive candidates. Headhunters don't post jobs. They do research, build target lists, make calls, and persuade exceptional talent to consider a move. This is used almost exclusively for senior leadership, C-suite, and highly specialized technical roles. Real example? Spencer Stuart and Korn Ferry. Global executive search firms like Spencer Stuart and Korn Ferry charge fees of 30 to 35% of the placed executive's first year's compensation, often in the range of 20 to 50 lakh rupees per placement. That sounds expensive until you consider that a wrong C-suite hire costs 10 to 15 times the salary and business damage. Headhunters are like the special forces of recruitment. They move silently, find targets no one else can reach, and never ever post on Naukri. 7. Job fairs and recruitment events. Physical or virtual events where multiple companies set up booths and interact with large numbers of candidates in a single venue. Great for brand building, bulk hiring, and reaching diverse candidate pools. Job fairs are particularly effective for employer branding. Even if you don't hire from every interaction, every candidate who visits your stall goes home with an impression of your company culture. Real example? NASSCOM job fairs. NASSCOM and industry bodies like CII regularly host large-scale recruitment events across India's major cities, attracting thousands of tech and business professionals in a single day. These are particularly valuable for companies entering a new city who need to establish presence and brand awareness in the local talent market. 8. Government employment exchanges and labor offices. Government-run job placement offices where companies can register vacancies and candidates register their availability. More commonly used for blue-collar, government-adjacent, and public sector hiring. While less prominent in the private sector today, employment exchanges are legally mandated in certain industries and remain relevant for large-scale, non-specialized hiring, particularly in manufacturing, construction, and public utilities. Presenter tip: breadth. Covering all 8 sources, including the less glamorous ones like employment exchanges, establishes comprehensive knowledge. Don't skip the boring ones. They show real depth. Alright, now that we know all the sources, the most important question is, which source do you use for which kind of hire? Because no single source works for every role. Here's the matching logic. Think of this as your recruiter's decision map. For senior and leadership roles, best sources are executive search or headhunting, LinkedIn Recruiter, retained agencies, and internal promotions. Why? Senior candidates are rarely active on job boards. They need to be approached. Your brand and the opportunity have to be compelling enough to make them move. For mid-level experienced hires, LinkedIn, Naukri.com or job portals, employee referrals, staffing agencies. Why? Mid-level professionals actively monitor opportunities. Job portals and LinkedIn give you volume, referrals give you quality. For fresh graduates or entry level, campus recruitment, job fairs, walk-in drives, Naukri Fresher, Indeed. Why? Fresh talent concentrates in colleges. Campus drives let you reach them before they're on the open market. For bulk or volume hiring, walk-in drives, job fairs, employment exchanges, mass portal campaigns. Why? When you need numbers fast, you need channels that create footfall, not quality filters. For specialized or niche skills, headhunting, niche job boards like Stack Overflow or GitHub for tech, referrals, and LinkedIn. Why? Niche talent is hard to find at scale. You need either a specialist who knows the community or a referral from inside that community. The golden formula. Match the sourcing strategy to the role, the timeline, and the budget. There is no universal best source, only the best source for this role right now. Real example, Amazon India. Amazon's recruitment team uses a completely different sourcing strategy for warehouse associates, walk-ins, job fairs, local employment boards versus software engineers, LinkedIn, GitHub, campus at IITs. Same company, same HR team, completely different playbooks for different roles. All right, let's bring it home. Today we covered the full landscape of recruitment sources, every place, every channel, every method that HR uses to find the right talent. Internal sources, promotions, transfers, IJP, employee referrals. Always check your own fridge first. External sources, job portals, Naukri, LinkedIn, campus drives, agencies, social media, walk-ins, headhunting, job fairs, employment exchanges. The matching principle. Different roles need different sources. Senior, headhunt. Fresher, campus. Volume, walk-in. Niche, referral plus LinkedIn. Here's my challenge to you. Next time you get a job offer or see a LinkedIn message from a recruiter, think about which sourcing method they used to find you. Were you referred, searched? Did you apply through a portal? You're living inside someone's sourcing strategy right now. If this video helped you, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and drop a comment. What's the most unusual way you've ever been recruited? I genuinely want to hear it. Next video, we go deep into recruitment types and methods, internal versus external recruitment strategy, the difference between direct and indirect hiring methods, and how companies choose between them. See you there.